Hello guys, NautoAce here, and I want to give my thoughts on Sakurai's presentation of Sephiroth. And I have to say, like always, like before, he always show passion and respect for the character. And this presentation, I have to say, it is very interesting. So before I give my thoughts on the character himself, how it works, and the stages, I have to give some tidbit of what he did during the presentation. I think kind of highly interesting. So during the presentation, he kind of sort of did a joke about frame rate, 15 frame rate on Sephiroth when he's doing his demonstration, and then later on he said, "Oh wait, I can't talk something like that because I'm not really the right person to do it. There are other people to do it." So if you've been following the story with, of course, with the Smash community, of course the tournament, the controversy, technically in a different video I kind of said that Sakurai, he may be a tournament player in the past, but he left that behind and he's just a guy, just want to make a fun game. And he even said, "I'm a guy who just created a fun party game, but you know, some people treat it as a fighting game for the tournament, so let them talk about the frame, hitbox, the analytic about it." But that was the funny part that I had to throw it out. Another one, as expected. So if you notice, even since the Wii U, Cloud did not have an English voice, even so his actual game has English voice. And it's no different with this one. Sephiroth still going to be speaking Japanese in Smash Brother. Sakurai did address it. He said, "Please understand that the only option that were given from the company is Japanese voice. They would not allow them to use the English voice actor, whether from remake or Advent Children, i.e., you know, the common voice actor for another game. Remake, like I said, it was more of a, because the game was like big, ambitious. I mean, the game was fun, but different story there. So no surprise, kind of disappointing with Square Enix. And then the big part is, I'm just gonna straight here talk about it before the demonstration for Sephiroth, is the music. So surprisingly, 9 music for the Sephiroth pack. 4 of them are remake, which I'm surprised. That again, I gotta give props to Square Enix for that one. 9 and 4 of them are remake. The best part is in the stage for Midgard with Cloud, it's also going to be added there. So the total music now for Final Fantasy VII is 11. So yes, 11 music. Before that, it was only 2. During the Wii U 3DS, it was only the main battle theme and the boss battle theme. That was it. Now they added more. Some of them Advent Children, some of them are remake based on Final Fantasy VII. And he also addressed that, and he explained about the copyright issue, how it's different in each country. Sometimes a lot of the step was very difficult, how many hurdles. And in the past also, a little side bit, Christian Van, former Capcom market jerk guy, he also explained about copyright issues. So basically the reason why, as expected, copyright, but the bigger issue of why this is happening is, well, everybody knows, Square Enix are dicks when it comes to the property. Maximilian talked about it, Matt Seaman talks about it, anybody who follows Square Enix talk about it. Whether you like or not, Square Enix are douchebags. They're very, very protective with their IP, they're very selfish, and I said before in my previous video about Sephiroth that when Sony and Superbot tried to convince Square Enix to have Cloud in the PlayStation Battle Royale, they said no, we don't know who you are, we don't want the character to be ruined. And he also said that again, and he said it before in Brawl, but he said it again, that one of the things that he has to be careful is he has to maintain the reputation of the character so it doesn't look bad. And again, there you go. So he addressed that in a nice way, but everybody knows Square Enix, they're dicks when it comes to their IP. They're very selfish. Yes, Sakurai did say to some extent that they were a bit lenient, but still, Square Enix is still Square Enix, and they are kind of dicks. So at least there's more song now with Sephiroth's DLC pack, and of course, them not having the English voice still couldn't do anything about it. It it sucks. It sucks, but you know what? Whatever, Square Enix, kiss my ass for that one. So moving with that one is the presentation itself. So Sephiroth, the anime video game swordsman as everybody believes. Yes, he is, so I kind of believe that too. And yes, he is sort of, it looks OP because of his move, his attacks, his Masamune is really long range. But somehow, apparently, there is still some sort of disadvantage with the guy fight. First of all, his moveset, yes, sword swing, whatever, he's a swordsman. Second, he's able to stab his sword to the wall, able to like pause for a while, and able to do another jump, so that's interesting. That's also in the movie, FFVII, he did that at one point if I remember. And then the Black Wing game mechanic, the moveset, as expected, he is basically doing some sort of more powerful magic attack. So he has Mega Flare, and if you hold it down, it becomes Giga Flare. You tap it, it's like Weak Flare. And then his forward special is Shadow Flare. And what he does is if it hits the enemy, there's a circle around it, and then after a while it'll hit them. And then you can actually spam it, and it'll do the more. However, this move actually has a disadvantage, and that is it can be reflect, it can be absorbed, it can even be picked up by villager and then use it back. So you might say, oh man, that move is powerful. Well, guess what? Not so much, because it takes a while before it attacks the opponent, but to some extent it is powerful, but you can pick it up, you can deflect it, absorb it. So again, it kind of showed that there's a disadvantage with Sephiroth there. So his stage, the North Cave Valley. So like I said before, it is the final stage for Final Fantasy VII. It kind of showed what it is, because in the game itself, you kind of go in some sort of like a dungeon cave-ish thing, and in the very end you go to the center of the planet, I think, and then that's where you fight Sephiroth. So it's kind of follow that one, and yes, you kind of see the high wind, and then not only that, again, showing respect to the intellectual property in Final Fantasy VII. It also showed the aftermath after you beat Sephiroth. Again, it's a spoiler, but this game is, again, it's really old. This game is really old. It's in the PlayStation, and the remake is going to be some minor changes according to the director. Different story there, and then it kind of shows what happened again. It's going to be a meteorite, and there's this thing that's happening in the cave. See the high wind, of course, it changes to like Form 3, which is again based on the cutscene, and then the live stream sucks up the meteor, and then I guess it just restarts itself. I mean, it's just basically aesthetic, but it's actually, I mean, it's very distracting. And for a stage, I guess it's just a platform with 2 platforms on the side, not really much any like hazard for this stage, but looks good, man, looks good. So I have to say, Sephiroth, it is awesome, like what he did. I didn't expect. Of course, the Mii costume. The funny part about it was the first thing he did, like, let's start with the Mii costume, and as expected. First of all, 3 of them are new: Barret, Tifa, and Aerith. Of course, you know, from Final Fantasy VII, there's gonna be clothes. The downside is the Mii face and the hair. You have to customize it yourself. He even said it, so there's no head. It's just a body costume there. And of course, I was wondering in the back end whether Gino and Chocobo had to make a comeback due to Square Enix property. Well, they're back. So they're back. So the biggest wondering that are they gonna come back for Ultimate? They did. So Gino and Chocobo Hat are back. So the only one left is Lloyd. So it's probably gonna be either Final Pack number 4 to 6, whatever. And once Lloyd is there, that's it. That's all the DLC costume from Wii U, 3DS. They're complete, so they're all back. So again, kudos to Nintendo actually bring back Baby Steph a lot of the costume, because we were bringing Baby Steph. There was a Knuckles and Tail with the Persona, then Hachi at one point, Gil from Tower of Druga, Jackie, and Akira at one point. So Baby Step, but they are eventually bringing them back there. So overall for this presentation, I have to say it's really good, very informative, and also, by the way, yeah, he didn't really mention about the amiibo, but people already talked about it. By the way, if you're looking for the Banjo, Terry, or Violet, March 26, 2021. Yeah. So before that, people claimed that it was fall of 2021, so they finally revealed the real date, March 26, 2021. Make a note. You can probably pre-order it Best Buy while they're stored there. So the last thing is, starting from the presentation until the 22nd of December, which is that's when Sephiroth will be coming out. There is a special challenge, limited time challenge called Sephiroth Boss Challenge. And what it is you fight Sephiroth on one-on-one. If you beat Sephiroth within 5 days before its release, you get to access Sephiroth. Again, they're giving you a chance to get him early if you're able to beat him, giving incentive to get you back. But the downside, of course, that one is you gotta have the DLC, either Sephiroth, which is, I think now it's out on the eShop. I got the Fighter Pass Volume 2, I got it finally on the deal, so again. So, there you go. Again, good information, good presentation. Always transparent. I gotta give props to Sephiroth. Always transparent when it comes to the situation. Again, when it comes to the music, there was a reason why there was only 2 before, because Square Enix were just being selfish. And that same goes with not having Sephiroth and Cloud English dub as of right now, because Square Enix just won't let him. Just won't let him. Like I said, they just won't let him. And yeah, it sucks, but again, it is what it is. So that's my thoughts on Sephiroth. Freaking awesome. I can't wait for the 22nd. That's when officially going to come out. With that, I'll see you guys later.